Hello everyone, in today's tutorial we'll dive into parametric modeling using modifiers. Parametric modeling relies on simple, reversible instructions, meaning every change you make is non-destructive. The easiest example of this is a parametric deformer, like taper, twist, or bend. In the next few minutes, we will look at this workflow around these modifiers and see how they interact in 3ds Max. Along the way, we'll also explore the modifier stack, which organizes these effects. Here I've got a monitor screen, and I want to design a stand for it. Cool. Well, there's already a box primitive ready to go, so I'll select that first. Let's start by applying a taper modifier. You can add deformers through the modifiers menu under parametric deforms, but I usually prefer doing it directly in the modify panel using the stack. So I'll go over there and click the modifier list dropdown. Since I already know what I'm after, I'll just start typing TA in the search bar. And there it is, taper. I can click it or simply press enter to apply it. Now if you look closely in the viewport, you'll notice a faint orange box surrounding the geometry. That's the taper gizmo. Now, we need to give it some actual effect. Let's raise the amount value and you'll start to see the box deform. Just like that. In the top view, we can clearly see that the shape is tapering, but not along the direction I want. I'm aiming for a smooth taper along the Y direction, which is here. This is the Y axis of the object. So to fix that, we'll adjust the primary axis under the taper parameters section. So this primary axis defines the direction the effect runs along. In this case, it should be Y. I'll switch that, and now in the top view, we can see it tapering along the length of the box, right here. However, in the left view, the height is also being affected, and I don't want that. To correct it, I'll change the effect axis from XZ to X, just like that. Now the height remains consistent, while the taper only happens along the Y axis, which in this case also matches the world and viewport orientation. Perfect. Alright, cool. So to create a curved taper, we'll need to adjust the curved parameter. Let's lower that value. We'll go for something close to something like -2. We can click and drag using the scroll to adjust to whatever numerical number we want. Awesome. So you'll see the gizmo curve visually, but the box itself doesn't appear to bend yet. That's because the geometry doesn't have enough segments to form a curve. A polygon mesh is made up entirely of straight edges. So, to represent curvature, we need more subdivisions. In a parametric workflow, that's easy to fix. So navigate to the bottom of the stack and select box level and increase the length segments. So as we raise this number, the shape starts to smooth out. The higher we increase it, the smoother it'll get for that gradual curve. Awesome. Once you're happy with how that's looking, we'll now fine tune the shape. We can move the taper gizmo relative to the box. To do that, open the taper modifier and switch to sub-object mode like this. You'll see two options, gizmo and center. Center moves only the position of the taper effect, while gizmo controls all three transforms, position, rotation, and scale. Select gizmo and you'll automatically enter move mode. In the top view, I'll drag the gizmo, but before that, I'll right click once so we don't lose our selection. Now, as we move it, the taper shifts relative to the object, changing the overall form. For good habits, let's be precise. We can enter numeric values in the transform typing area. I'll set the Y position of the gizmo to 40 and hit enter. Then exit the sub-object mode to return to the object level. Next, let's limit how far the taper effect reaches. Scroll down and enable limit effect. With both the upper and lower limits set to 0, nothing happens, since there's no defined range for the taper to act within. We'll adjust these values. Let's bring the lower limit into the negatives, and you'll see the taper now only affect a portion of the box. So drag that down awesome. And we can see only that portion right there. Cool. Next, let's set the upper limit to 0. Press tab and set the lower limit to -50. Awesome. Now the taper is constrained just to that section. Exactly the result we are after. We can tweak this higher and higher for more emphasis. And adjust the box height to finish shaping the stand. To do that, let's go and select that box in the modifier stack, which is located here. Awesome. With that selected, we can edit the height. Let's reduce that to something like 0.5. Cool. And under these box parameters, we can always edit them. Awesome. The best thing about this parametric modeling is you can always adjust, go back and tweak, and nothing will get destroyed. That concludes our tutorial today. Thank you so much for watching, guys.